Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the National Intel Report. I'm your host, John Statmiller, on this Tuesday, 24 November 09. And right out of the chute here, before I bring the gentlemen on, Mr. Noel and Mr. Chapman, thanks to our sponsors for this. The holiday giveaway continues. To John Phillips out there of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And guess what you got, pal? A 2.5-pound container of microplant powder. Now, this has a very strong negative charge, as these millions, as he calls it, cylinders, move through the stomach and digestive tract. They attract with a negative charge the positive toxins in the body and absorb bacteria, fungi, protozoa, viruses, endotoxins, pesticides, and drug residues, E. coli, heavy metals, molds, and mildews. Geez, I didn't know I had that swimming around my gut. And mycotoxins. Remove this stuff from your body now. So there you go, John Phillips of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Hope you enjoy the product. It is a fine one. That is for sure. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How you doing, Bob Chapman?
Well, pretty good. Thank you very much.
And Mr. Robbie Noel.
I'll be fine, thank you.
You be good?
Yep.
Well, Bob, yes.
Well, he's going to need some of that stuff that you're just talking about when he goes to Africa to make sure the gobblies don't get him.
You read my mind. You know what I think the real plan here is, Bob? He's been working the gold and silver business for nigh on 25 years. Robbie does not live lavish lifestyles. So I think what he plans on doing is going over to Zimbabwe, and when the thing totally blows up and the dust settles, he's got enough money to buy half the country.
Yeah, I'm not going to Zimbabwe.
You're not going to Zimbabwe?
No.
Well, where are you going?
South Africa.
South Africa.
Jeffreys Bay, to be exact.
Jeffreys Bay.
But that's in a year from now.
I have no idea.
A lot of things could happen in a year.
I hope so.
They might stop people from traveling to Africa.
Well, that's a possibility.
Except the people they don't like, and then they'll let them go.
Well, I'll have to find out if I'm still allowed into the country.
Well, and that was my next point. You probably have a flashing banner on Interpol right now. Yeah.
I wouldn't say Interpol. I'd say the ANC.
Or somebody.
considering, well, let's not go there.
Bob. Bob.
I hear you, Master.
Hey, what is this stuff here? James Corbett came to my attention the other day. I actually saw him on the media. When we get back from the break, explain what Mr. Corbett is doing here from the CorbettReport.com. If you would, please, sir, hold that thought. You folks out there, hold your horses. We'll take 3 minutes. We'll get back to the meat of this program, ladies and gentlemen, and that's education on the finances and what's really going on and who's zooming whom.
Get ready for Real Talk Radio. You're listening to the National Intel Report with your host, John Statmiller.
Bob, you're in contact with Jim Corbett. What can you tell us about this?
Well, he just interviews me every once in a while, and he gives me more coverage with people for my publication, but, he asks the same kinds of questions that we discuss here in the program. I don't know any more about him than that. He's a very nice person. He's always nice to me.
Well, I saw in your newsletter you did a write-up on PrismPlanet.com, and I I had to chuckle about this one because I'm doing a series of programs. Right before the Tuesday program on Monday, I've been doing, as a matter of fact, I've done now 7 programs with these guys, Ron McDonald and Dr. Robert Rowan, and on the financial stuff, okay, the Fed Reserve, the IRS, the bankruptcy of 33, the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946, 14th Amendment, all of what has gone before. literally, guys, this is the period at the end of the sentence. They've pretty much nailed it all down. And I called Alex up to have these guys on his program. And I told him, I said, look, I said, they're not going to come out with the Rothschilds and all the Jewish international banksters and all this other stuff. I said, they leave that out of the equation because for their purposes, it's not important. What's important is we got the Federal Reserve operating in this country. It's got to be done away with. Toot sweet. He won't put the guys on, but yet the ADL attacks him. And I'm a little confused about this because if anybody is going to be attacked, and I'll tell you the reason why the ADL doesn't go after me specifically, it's because I make that separation of Jews versus Zionists. It's very easy to do, and this is the poison, the rat poison that they don't want to get in and mix their little hands in, because there's a lot of Jews on this planet that don't understand about Zionism, how they got sucked into this. So at any rate, without going further down that rabbit hole, I just found it a little amusing that Glenn Beck and Alex Jones are mentioned in the same report of the Anti-Defamation League. I just found it rather fascinating.
They're getting off to Joseph Farah as well, man. Come on.
Well, and Joe is more of a...
And he supports, he's the neocon's neocon.
You better believe it.
I mean,
That's right, and he is pro-Jewish and pro-Zionist. I don't get it. What is the ADL talking about?
Well, I do, because this is kind of like a false flag attack. They're putting these people up there as being iconic ne'er-do-wells that are trying to foment rage against the government, while there's people like me sitting behind the scenes doing what I've been doing for all these years. They won't touch me with a 10-foot pole because Abe Foxman, I've talked to him myself. He won't touch me because I am an educator. I tell the Jews that, hey, there is a better way here. You got to dump this Zionist garbage. You got to dump this secular gobble the entire planet up and kill anybody that ain't your friend type of attitude. They won't touch me. I mean, it's the most fascinating thing I've ever seen, that they put these people out here as if they're the iconic bad guys that want to foment anger against the government. Hello? You know, I found it rather amusing, is what I found it, at any rate.
You know, John, what you should do, too, when, you've got these tapes, and you know how busy I am. I'm bound up 18 hours a day. Everything that you do on tape, you should email to me so I can put it in the publication, because I don't have the time to go search for it.
No, I understand.
And everything you send will go in there.
I have a producer that's breaking in a new board op, and he didn't hear what you just said. Would you repeat for his benefit, please?
Everything that you do that's on tape that you would like me to put into the Forecaster, which is published twice a week, if it's a link, all you have to do is send it, and it will go in.
Cool. Done.
I mean, anybody that is in our venue, so to speak, I do it for. I mean, people send me hundreds of things every week, and I have to go through every single one of these audios and videos, and I'm going out of my mind. And I pick the ones that I think are the most important, and I put them in there. So it saves people. It's like harvesting. And I say people all this time, all I have to do is pick up the publication. Everything they need to know is there. And so you want to be there, John.
Well, and what I did on the website today, I put the lighter side up. And this was an older jib-jab thing. As a matter of fact, what the heck, we got a little bit of time here. Let's play this. And this is kind of a knock on what most people consider to be the news. Now, this was the lighter side posting I put on the website. It's only a couple minutes long.